It's a magical, albeit bittersweet time of the year as we stare down Game 1 of the NBA Finals and the inevitable end of this season. We know who we're looking at, so let's just get right into it. I'll save you a long preamble. The Warriors coming in had arguably the easier path. They're certainly the more well-rested squad coming into the NBA Finals. The Mavericks really outkicked their coverage, so to speak. They're ahead of schedule, is another way to put it. I don't think the Mavericks belonged in the Western Conference Finals, and I think they proved that. If the Suns had been healthier, maybe they could have given Golden State a better series, but I'm not here to tell you that the Suns would be in the finals if they were healthy, despite what my postseason predictions may have been. The Warriors got to take on the Grizzlies without Ja at the end of the series and got to just overwhelm and outclassed Nugget squad led by back-to-back MVP Nikola Jokic. So yeah, easy, right? Super easy. But you can't argue that the Celtics had one of the toughest routes to the NBA Finals, starting with the Nets of all teams, and then moving on to the reigning NBA champions, the Milwaukee Bucks led by Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then, they just had to beat the Miami Heat and the return of Bubble Jimmy. So yeah, both teams have faced their share of adversity getting here, and this matchup looks to be a very intriguing one on paper. The Celtics hang their hat on defense. They have not played an offense like Golden State in the playoffs, but there's some evidence that they match up well with this team. We'll get into it in a bit, so let's just start it all now. Who's going to win this thing, and how are we figuring it out?
Front court. The Warriors are known for their death lineup, which is guard heavy. This is great for fans since we love the flowing offense and deep threes, and it's great for Golden State because they are paper thin in the front court. Draymond Green anchors this defense regardless of the lineup. Offensively, the Celtics will all but beg him to shoot, so if he can add any offense to this series, he could wind up an X Factor. However, the current lead for that title, in my opinion, is Andrew Wiggins. The all-star forward has shown flashes of greatness during this playoff run, and if he's able to do that again for a game or two in this series, it could be the difference for the Warriors. Kayvon Looney could be called upon again for more minutes in the finals if Boston's bigs begin to dominate the paint. He looked good in limited minutes in the Western Conference Finals and could repeat that. Jason Tatum leads the way for the Celtics up front. Boston will need to avoid force-feeding him the ball like they did early in the regular season, but if they are to win it all, he will need to continue his great play. Al Horford has turned back the clock during this postseason, making big plays in key moments, including a dominant fourth quarter against the Bucks. Boston will need Horford to be a facilitator on the offensive end at times during this matchup. Golden State will work to keep the ball out of the hands of their playmakers, and if Horford can knock down mid-range jumpers and hit the open man from the high post, it's going to keep the Warriors' defense honest. The health of Robert Williams is a key factor as well. If healthy, Williams will provide the Celtics with another rim protector. Grant Williams has been clutch for Boston off the bench and could be an answer for the Warriors' small ball lineup on defense. Looking at this collectively, I'm going to give the front court advantage to the Boston Celtics. Back court. How much introduction is really needed for this group? The triumphant return of the Splash Brothers to the NBA Finals is a story well known to most basketball fans. Curry's in search of his 4th ring and coming off of an MVP performance in the last series. Klay Thompson hasn't been the same scoring machine of days past, but he proved that Game 6 Klay had made a return as well and will undoubtedly be a factor in this series. Newest bro Jordan Poole provides instant offense when he's in the game. One of the most improved players in the league, when Poole joins Thompson and Curry on the court, Golden State can run anyone out of the gym in a hurry. The free-flowing offense this team runs does lead to a lot of turnovers, so they will have to be mindful of that going against a Boston defense that excels in creating them. Boston has plenty of talent in the backcourt as well. Jaylen Brown can score it with the best of them, and Marcus Smart is the Defensive Player of the Year. Brown will need to cut down on turnovers in a big way in the finals. He's had multiple games with over 5 giveaways. For a player that shares primary ball handling duties with Smart and Tatum, this is far too many. Tatum, too, has a tendency to be loose with the ball. With Golden State's ability to carve up defenses in transition, ball security could decide our next champion. And Boston's acquisition of Derek White before the trade deadline looks to be one of the biggest impact moves of the season. The reserve guard not only provides another solid defender to match up against the Warriors' talented backcourt, but when his shot is falling, he can hit threes in bunches. Despite all that, I have to give the advantage here to the Golden State Warriors. Coaching and intangibles. Steve Kerr is at the helm for the Warriors, where he has been successful since taking over for Mark Jackson. At his side is future Sacramento Kings head coach Mike Brown. This staff also includes former players Kenny Atkinson and Leandro Barbosa. Now, this team has enough championship experience to coach itself, but the staff here cannot be overlooked. Kerr and company will have this team well prepared and ready to make adjustments on the fly. Ime Udoka is no stranger to making adjustments. His team was 11th in the East when they changed their offensive approach to be less ball dominant and stop teams from running zones against them. Udoka may lack the experience as a rookie head coach, but his playing days and time as an assistant coach have set him up well for this moment. Gotta give Golden State the advantage here, though. Final prediction. Above all else, I hope this is a close series. After the way the last round played out, this league and its fans deserve to end things on a high note. The matchup looks great on paper. Golden State has an incredible offensive attack, but Boston got here by playing great defense. The Celtics are touted as the league's best defensive team, but the Warriors held that title for months prior to a lengthy injury to Draymond Green. In recent years, no one has beaten the Warriors at a rate better than Boston has, but hey, that's just the regular season. With two evenly matched teams, this series will likely come down to certain factors breaking one way or the other. Will Wiggins be in all-star form? Will the Celtics survive their inevitable offensive droughts? Can the Warriors play their death lineup with Horford or Williams in the game? The offensive consistency of Brown and Smart will be key to the Celtics' potential success here as well. When it comes down to it, although I think the Celtics are ready to be a championship team, the talent and experience on the other side will be too much to overcome. Warriors in 6.